primio loptu Maganjić i evo sada situacije koju su čekali gosti. Tomislav Gudelj, situacija 3-3, Gudelj ostavio na desnu stranu za Mrkonjića, Mrkonjić za Gudelja u sredini, Gudelj posprema Gudelju, postručena je prednost, Croatia ima 2-0. Po desnoj strani lopta u prostor, Bešlić, sada je Bašić uklizao i to je Mrkonjić, sigurno, hladno, rutinski za prednost gostiju od 1-0. Bašić ubacio, prilika je za Dugopolje, to je pogodak 2-1, ekspresno su prepolovili prednost gostiju domaći i Kovačević se uprlja u petercu, ali odradio je najslađi mogući za...
So thank goodness for that win against Dinamo's second team that you've just seen the goals from, because if we'd lost that game, that would have been 3 defeats in a row. It would have been 4 games without a win, and I think we would have been sliding our way down the table. What I didn't realise during our last episode, when you saw us losing 2-1 to Solin, was that we were then about to go on a 7-week winter break. It meant that once the boys had got back from their holidays, we've played a bunch of friendlies, we've tried a few new things tactically, trying to get the ball wider, and also play the ball lower into the box so we're not lumping it into strikers that really aren't that strong in the air. And that win against Dinamo means that we are still top of the table, and you're going to say that it looks pretty comfortable, but I think today's game is absolutely crucial. We're going to take on second place Orient today, who are 7 points behind us. If we beat them, I'm going to say that with 10 games to go and 10 points top of the table, there's an outside chance that we might win the league. But if we lose today, 4 points clear at the top of the table, with 10 games to go, and with only 1 win in the previous 5 fixtures, I think we could be getting a little bit nervous. So it is a huge game for us today. With that in mind, let's introduce you to Orient, our opponents today, through our scout report. In today's encounter, Dugopolje take on second place Orient 1909, a club from the city of Rijeka, a port on the Adriatic coastline and home to 108,000 residents. Orient are coached by Edo Flago, who has led the club to an 8-game unbeaten run that has seen them rise up the league table over recent weeks. And so to today's clash, where first place take on second as Dugopolje face Orient. So as you can tell, Orient are going to be pretty stern opposition for us today. Before we get out there and face them, let's just update you on our manager profile as well. We're still studying that B licence, the second coaching badge we've taken since we joined Dugopolje. There's a cheeky chance, that once this is done, if we're still impressing the board, they might even agree to send us on our A licence, which would give us the advantage of being able to negotiate with clubs in the summer that refuse to send us on a coaching course, because we've already got one in the bag. As well as making some progress in terms of our badges, we're making a bit of progress linguistically as well. I expected to be able to learn Croatian whilst we were out managing in this nation. What I didn't account for is that I've picked up a bit of basic Bosnian, a bit of basic Montenegrin. Neither of those languages I think will help us in jobs, but we've also got basic Serbian now as well. Maybe that might improve a little bit as well before we leave Dugopolje. And if we do move to a top Serbian club later in our career, might just give us a little bit of an advantage when we're managing players from that nation. We're also making a little bit of progress in terms of our manager attributes as well. We've got a couple of them up to 5s now, such as player knowledge and level of discipline. It's not out of the realms of possibility, that in a year's time, if we have another good season at a new club, some of these might reach a cheeky 7 or 8, and we might start to look like a half-decent manager. We've got to prove we're a half-decent manager by getting a promotion with Dugopolje first. We're going to have to beat Orient today to go 10 points clear at the top of the table. Let's get out there and see how we do. Okay, we need a win in this game. I am not going to deny it. You will see a roguishly handsome middle-aged man weep on camera today if we blow this game against Orient, because I do feel we have got the look about us of a team that could blow a lead and capitulate. But if we could somehow sneak victory in this game, go 10 points clear with a third of the season remaining, even a pessimist like me is semi-confident that we might be able to get the job done. We're coming forward early, and here is our right winger, Kovacevic, who didn't feature at the start of the season, but our usual right winger has been out injured for the last, maybe 3-4 weeks or so before the winter break. And we've continued with Kovacevic. Our right winger is fit enough to be on the bench today, but I'm thinking he might play as a striker for us, when he comes back. And we'll keep Kovacevic in the team, because Kovacevic has done well. He scored that winner against Dinamo's second team in our last game. And our normal right winger, although he's not a great finisher, neither of the strikers that we're normally playing are great finishers either. And our typical right winger has the benefit of having 15 pace and 15 acceleration. So maybe that will be a good option for us later on in the season. But hold on, here's me slating the quality of our strikers. Ivan Rodic has just decided to head one home from the edge of the box. We're playing low crosses, by the way. Now watch this low cross come into the box. Yep, that's the one. I've done him a disservice, by the way, as well. He was actually just outside the area as he heads that home. And I don't think the Orient goalkeeper has covered himself in glory there. He's let one slip past him, kind of palmed it into his own net. We've taken the lead after 12 minutes and we've won the ball back again from the kickoff. The boys are looking pretty hungry for this game. We've got Balic. Remember, Balic was going to be our star midfielder, but we've been playing him in defence for most of the season. We moved him up into midfield, but I've brought him back down again now once we started to stutter, just to see whether he could help shore us up at the back. And here is our man Kovacevic. He's had a little dabble of an effort that's just drifted wide of the post, but we're looking pretty lively in these early stages, aren't we? I think we might even pause the game, put out a little shout of praise, because they've gone 1-0 up early against a team that's hot on our heels. So I think it's only right to give the boys a little bit of credit for the start that they've made. A second goal before half-time, by the way. God, that would be quite the start to the game. We've got some good performances out there as well. Plenty of players averaging over a 7, but we've got a free kick to defend here. 32 minutes on the clock. Oh, and our goalkeeper, Silic, I think he's risen and tipped that one over the bar. That was a good save. I think that was arrowing into the top corner. Now we need to deal with the corner. We've got it away. Highlights continuing, though. We need to close them down. Okay, can we just nurse it through to half-time? Here's me claiming the need for a second goal before half-time. Maybe we just need to get the boys in, settle them down a little bit, go again in the second half. We've got 10 shots, 5 of them on target. We've only faced 1 shot from our opponents. The second half as good as the first. 10 points clear at the top of the table by the time the whistle blows. Take that all day long. Okay, we've got strong performances all over the pitch, so no changes. Perhaps the only little area of concern is our left-back Mikalic, who's on a 6.6 currently. He's one of the 3 players I've identified for praise in previous episodes. Although I do recall in the last 2 episodes we brought you, he was suspended for each of those. He's clearly got a bit of a temper on him. We're looking for him to pick up in the second half of this game. We're on 56 minutes. And it's our Dugapolia boys that are coming forward again. We've got the ball with Javorcic. Not seen a lot of him today. There's another one of our low crosses onto the head of Rodic. I'm not sure whether that was bar and keeper, or then keeper and then bar. But it was another good effort. We've hit 66 minutes. I think it's time for a couple of sets of fresh legs on the pitch. I do feel like this game could be another one that's got a sting in the tail unless we could get a second goal. Okay, I have withdrawn our left-back. He hadn't picked up his performance, and also Javorcic in midfield was our only player of those central 3 that was not averaging above a 7, and he looked incredibly tired. So as we have got a midfielder on the bench that is okay, I've brought him on, and here is that midfielder. It's Bosancic, and what has he just done? With that little effort, it's gone over the keeper. It looked like there was a little bit of fancy footwork involved. Unless he touched the ball in the previous 3 minutes, by the way. That could be a goal with his first touch. He's got forward. He's taken the ball down. And he has done some kind of little Rabona-type finish over the keeper. Oh, well done, young man. That is a little bit of showmanship, and it gives us a 2-0 lead against the team that are chasing us down at the top of the table. And I think on 75 minutes, this could allow us to make our final change. And the change I'm going to make is as follows. We're going to bring on the aforementioned right winger. So this is Ivan Bernic, 20 years old. Look how quick he is. A good crosser, not a great dribbler for a winger. So I'm thinking of keeping Kovacevic over on the right. He's got finishing of 8 and composure of 7. So that's not ideal. But I'm thinking he could operate as a striker for us today. Because Kovacevic, not as quick, but can dribble a little bit. So I think he's going to keep his place. And maybe Bernic can just get out there as a pressing forward and just get amongst their defence during the last 15 minutes and see whether he can cause a little bit of damage. We've had 9 shots on target this afternoon. We've dominated the XG. We've restricted our opponents to just 1 effort on goal. I think we've played pretty well. However, a late response here from Orient, and we would start to get a little bit nervous. We've got Rodos on the ball. Can we force our way up the pitch? Here's Balic. The Sancic, what a goal that was from the substitute. And now here's Kovacevic looking to repay our faith as we kept him on. In fact, it's Sancic coming forward again, the substitute, running the show a little bit. Another one of our low crosses. Subelic gets onto the ball, headers it towards goal. Nothing doing, but this is a good performance. 17 shots, 10 on target. This could well be the final highlight of the game, and it looks like a proper one. Bernic, looking to show our faith in him as a striker. Could well be what I do between now and the end of the season, because neither of our regular strikers are convincing. I know Rodic scored today, but how many times are you going to get a striker scoring a header from outside the box? Not very often, if you ask me. We're on 93 minutes. That one is offside, and I reckon that's going to be the end of the game, isn't it? 30 seconds, 20 seconds, just to try and play out. And then we're looking like a side that is going to go 10 points clear at the top of the Croatian second division with 10 games left to play. I reckon if we could win maybe 4 out of the next 5, we might be able to bring you back for our next episode with a chance of seeing our boys climb the podium. If not, it's still going to make entertaining viewing, I would say, because you're going to see a team throw away an almighty lead at the top of the table. And that is going to be something to behold. You may well see me crumble before your very eyes if that is to be the case. Let's just check in on the table before we finish. And it's looking rather healthy, isn't it? So Dynamo's second team have climbed up to 36 points, but you can ignore them because they're not eligible for promotion. It's all about what's going on behind us, and it is starting to bunch up a little bit. It's not just about us and Orient down in third, but you've got Varestin 1 point further back in fourth, and Yaren on the same 34 points down in 5th. It might still be a nerve-wracking end to the season, but if we could go away and have a good 4 games now, you never know, we could be coming back for something very exciting to end our first season of the FM22 Mercenary.